Chocolate pudding is one of those childhood desserts that even grown-ups go crazy for. But I bet you didn't know it's just as easy to make from scratch as it is to open up a box. In this video, I'll show you how to make rich, smooth, chocolatey chocolate pudding created by Faith Duran from thekitchen.com. So the first step to making our pudding is sifting all of our dry ingredients together. This gets rid of any lumps that might come up now or even later. But before we get there, I want to talk to you first about natural and Dutch processed cocoa. Dutch processed cocoa has been treated with an alkali, which makes it less acidic. It's also darker and gives you more of a deep, dark flavor to your chocolate pudding. Natural cocoa is lighter, and it also gives it more of a milk chocolate feel in this pudding specifically. So you can choose whichever one you like, but I'm going to go with the dark. So we mix our cocoa powder, 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, and a little table salt. Now we sift these guys together. I want to get all those last bits of cocoa. There we go. Now we'll stir in our cream. Nice and easy. And let's incorporate all of those powders into that cream. If you see any lumps, you're going to want to press those out with the spatula. Lumps are the enemy. Okay. As you can see, we have a nice paste-like consistency. We're going to stir in our eggs, 2 egg yolks, and just stir them in until they're combined. You don't want to see any traces of yellow. Perfect. We're now going to heat up our milk and sugar mixture. We do this together so that the sugar could dissolve. So we have 2 cups of milk, sugar, put it over medium heat. Stir it occasionally just to make sure that sugar gets fully dissolved. Once there are little bubbles forming at the edge of your milk, that's when you could start pouring it into your chocolate mixture. I'm going to take it off the heat. You're going to pour about half of it into your chocolate, whisking constantly. Put that down. Now continue to whisk it completely into the chocolate mixture until it's nice and smooth. This is called tempering the egg yolks, where you slowly heat up the egg yolks with the milk to cook them gradually, not cook them fast and scramble them in your chocolate pudding. You don't want scrambled eggs in your chocolate pudding. And now that it's nice and smooth, I'm going to add all of this chocolate back into the milk in the pan. Getting all of it in there. Don't want to miss a chocolatey drop. Whisk it all, and now we're going to set it over medium-high heat to bring it back up to a boil. I'm going to continue whisking this as it comes up to a boil, making sure to really scrape the bottom of the pan and also get into those corners, because you don't want any scorched pudding in there. It might affect the flavor of the rest of it. As the pudding is coming up to a boil, you'll feel it thickening. Like I already feel the resistance on my whisk. I'm such a nerd for this stuff. Really get in those corners. And notice I'm kind of doing this whisking slowly. I don't want to whip air into this. I'm not trying to make a big frothy, confection. It's pudding. It should be smooth. So move your whisk around smoothly. Here we go. This is what we're looking for, guys. So we have these small little bubbles around the edge that are like very fast, and then you have these big lava-like bubbles in the center. That's what we're looking for when we say to bring it up to a boil. So I'm going to turn my heat down to medium and let it continue to bubble away. Now you want to keep whisking. Keep getting into those corners as this is happening. We're going to let it boil for a couple minutes. What this does is it cooks the rawness out of the cornstarch, so it doesn't have that like cornstarchy flavor, and it also helps the thickening agent in the cornstarch activate. Okay guys, this stuff is ready. Very carefully, take it off the heat. Oh, before I forget, we want to add our vanilla or booze. Scotch, bourbon, cognac, whatever you got. Whisk it in. And now we're going to pour it into our baking dish. Look at that. It's beautiful. And that's your pudding. Now, if you're not a fan of that rubbery pudding skin that forms on the top, you're going to want to take a piece of plastic wrap and push it directly onto the surface of the pudding. Careful, this is hot. Right on the surface. Now we're going to put this in the refrigerator, let it chill for about an hour, and then you're ready to go. Now that our pudding is nice and cold, we want to give it another whisk and serve it up. And if you want this super smooth, you're going to want to use an electric hand mixer.